Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Cantu in Dallas, Texas on Friday, January the 5th. Welcome to our video commentary. You know, there's been a lot of news. It seems like there's an obsession with this new book that came out. It's called Fury and Fire, or Fire and Fury. It's been selling a lot. Of course, one of the reasons it's been selling is because President Trump has reacted so strongly to the book, although I can understand to some degree why the president responded the way he did. Had he stayed silent, had he said nothing, then I think a lot of people would be saying, well, I guess it must be true what's in the book because Trump is not denying it. So it's one of those no-win situations where somebody accuses you of something. Sometimes it's easier just to turn the other cheek, but sometimes you want to fight back. What's interesting about this book is the fact that there are already some very serious credibility issues with the book. Even the author himself said that not everything in the book is exactly the way it was reported. But one interesting thing that is in the book, I have not read it, of course, but one thing that I picked up from some of the news reports, apparently there's some things about President Trump that he doesn't read a lot, that apparently he likes to eat certain foods or whatever. This is really nothing new in American history. In fact, we've always had attacks on presidents, going back to Abraham Lincoln. I mean, the things that were said about Abraham Lincoln were pretty amazing. The things that were said about Teddy Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt, even Harry Truman. Harry Truman was known as the little man from Missouri. Here's Harry Truman, who is today regarded as one of the great presidents of the 20th century. You have Eisenhower. People used to say that Eisenhower was an illiterate person, didn't read, didn't write. Completely wrong. Eisenhower was actually well-read and wrote quite well. Then moving on, of course, you have Reagan, the attacks on Reagan, the attacks on Bush. I mean, with George W. Bush, the attacks were way over the top. At one point, they even made a movie about the assassination of George W. Bush, President George W. Bush. There was a movie about that was shown at the Toronto Film Festival, I think in 2007 or 2006, something like that. So we've been down this road before where we've had books and things said about our presidents, which, you know, again, it's simply not good. But my suggestion to you, as I mentioned in my article today at the American Thinker, I have an article about all of this called The Noisy Days of Washington. My suggestion is just shut it off. Don't get yourself consumed or upset about all this stuff. I mean, just shut off the channel and watch something else, or read a book, or spend some time with your family. There's a lot of great things happening in the country. The American economy is doing well. There's a lot of states who are doing quite well. And it just seems to me that to dwell into all of this negativity about President Trump, obviously if you hate President Trump, then you're going to love this kind of garbage. But I think most Americans don't hate presidents. They may disagree with them. Some may be more popular than others, but I don't think they really hate presidents. And I just think, you know, my suggestion is don't pay a lot of attention to these books, and don't pay a lot of attention to all of these things that they say about President Trump. I will tell you one thing, and I wrote a post about this. I have a feeling that you're going to see a lot of people who bought this book, and as I said, most of the purchases, I think, came about because of all the publicity that President Trump gave the book. Had President Trump reacted differently, maybe the book sales wouldn't be there. But I think by the end of a week or so, I think you're going to see a lot of used copies of this book over at Amazon for sale. And the reason I say that is because I just don't think this book is going to have that much of a change. I mean, I think most people are going to read this book and say, well, what did I learn? Not really, not much. Because that's the nature of these books. These are not serious books. They're not scholarly books. They're not written by people who are interested in, let's say, history or anything like that. It's just an opportunist, you know, a guy who said, hey, I'm going to write a nasty book about Trump, and that'll get me a bunch of publicity, and that'll get me a bunch of sales. And that apparently is what this is all about. Thank you for watching. We have all of these commentaries over at YouTube. We also have them at my blog. We have them at Twitter. Have a good weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.